Welcome back, Sunday Society, to week 6 of our Battle of the Karens. We have 2 more stories apiece to go over with you. I am still cringing from the tidal wave of Karens from last week, just thinking about that. So maybe we'll have a little refresher in this, in this week's stories. We'll have something to replace the tidal wave in my brain. The ick. The ick factor is real, which you say ick, and I'm like, Nick.
Yes, as soon as I said ick, I was like,
Nick. You pay the bills, Nick.
Have bills, Nick?
You clean, Nick. You take out the trash, Nick. Oh my gosh. Okay.
That was fun.
That was a blast from the past. So let's go ahead and dive in.
Yeah.
So grab your coffee, get comfy, and let's take back Sunday. All right, so on the theme of last week, talking about like how I listen to the radio, I have 2 questions today that I have been writing down. I always forget to ask, so we've got a lot today. The first one, and we've talked about this already, so we get to re-talk about it, I guess. If you are taking your friend's kid on vacation with you to like, let's say Disney World, who is expected to pay for that child's trip while they're there? What is the expectation financially for that child? Who is responsible?
So I think we've talked about this.
We did.
I said that it adults should be communicating, and that expectation is whatever they
agree
out.
On.
Yeah.
So what do you think in the ideal situation? Like, what is your agreement?
So if I'm inviting your child on a trip, I'm going to pay for the trip. So I'm going to pay for travel. I'm going to pay for a hotel or whatever. Pay for entry into, say it's Disney World. I'm going to pay to get the kid into the park. If the kid wants to buy like extra things, I'm going to feed the kid while they're with me. But if the kid wants to buy like souvenirs, extra things, then you can send that child money.
Yeah. And I think I am in the same boat as you. Like if I am inviting your child to come with me on vacation, I'm paying for the trip to go. I'm going to, unless it's like a flight, I might ask for help for tickets. It just depends. First of all, it would never be me flying. And I would never ask for gas money because it's like I have to put gas in the car anyway.
Yeah, like we're already going.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. But like a plane, that's an extra ticket. And those tickets are expensive. But like, getting into the park, the hotel, we are buying it anyway. Like it doesn't matter. It's not like your child being there is going to make it cost more. But yeah, like.
And I'm inviting you.
Exactly.
Or I'm inviting your child. So like, it's kind of one of those things. If I ask you out to dinner, or ask you out to lunch, I'm most likely going to pay because I invited you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, again, you should communicate early and often with 100%. Things like that. Like, hey, I'm thinking about next summer going to Disney. First of all, would you like to go? Because if you don't invite me, but you invite my kid, we ain't friends. Because I'm going to Disney.
But say like it was your child's friend who they're like besties. You play on the same teams. You're always around each other. You might as well be siblings. And you're like, hey, we thought maybe little Johnny would like to come. And I could see where there might be, if there wasn't clear communication and clear expectations, where that could get a little dicey.
Yeah. Yep, for sure.
Yeah. And so like we were talking, I took my son and his friend on a trip.
Yeah.
And that child is like an adult who has a job, not like an adult.
I was going to say, he just graduated high school.
Legally an adult, has a job. But like, I invited you on this trip. It wasn't your idea. You didn't ask to go.
Yeah.
You're a kid making little to no money. Like, I'm not letting you pay for anything on that trip. You know what I mean? Because why? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it wasn't a big trip either.
It was just an overnight.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that I think I would be the same way. Like if I'm inviting you to this, I'm going to pay for everything.
But like if you have decided, like you're like, hey, we're going on a cruise and we're going to do this, this, and this, but this, and this cost extra. If you want so-and-so to do that, that's fine, but it will, be this much, and like be communicating that so they can go, yeah, or no.
Yeah.
Or
like
whatever.
Plan early, you know, because I like to know, and you know this about me, and I'm sure many of you
we all know. Everybody that watches this knows she's a planner.
I'm a planner. And you know what? What did you tell Corbin on that trip to St. Louis?
So I was actually going to talk about the SZA concert.
Well, let's just switch right into that then.
So I took Corbin to Kendrick Lamar and SZA and a friend of his, Damon. And we got down there that day, and construction was horrible on I-70. And so it put us way behind getting to the hotel to get ready. And then we had like not enough time to go to dinner beforehand because we didn't have enough time anyway. We are stuck in so much traffic. It takes us forever to get down there to the Dome. And I am like trying to look at something on the site and like to see where like the parking lots are. Like, so maybe I don't have to pay for parking. Mm-hmm. Like far away, I could maybe park closer. It's raining, like downpour raining. And I look and it's like, and we expect there to be more traffic because there's a Cardinals game. So there's two big things going on. That's why the traffic was so bad. And I looked at Corbin and I said, if Bianca would have been here, she would have known that there was a Cardinals game. She would have already known where to park. We probably would have had a parking pass somewhere. Like all of these things would have been taken care of.
So sometimes being a planner is a good thing.
Yeah, girl. I was
helps.
missing it. But we had a great time. Yeah. It was a great concert. Kendrick Lamar is so poetic in his like lyrics, and obviously if you listen to his music, it can be offensive. It's got a lot of language in it, and I had to kind of just be like, well, here we are with that. But he his music has a message and it means something, and I think that's cool. No matter what the message is, I think when music has a message and it means something to the person, and it's not like just some of the stupid lyric music that's out there.
I know what you're saying.
It means something. And every piece of that concert like went together, and it was just it was a show. It was a performance.
I was going to say, like, not only probably the lyrics for the music, but the visual effects probably also had a message and a story.
It was super cool. And there was this family that had like a suite right behind us. Mm-hmm. And I so wanted to be hanging out with them. They were having the best time. And they had like grandma, grandpa, all the way to little kids.
I love it.
It made me wonder if it wasn't maybe because SZA is from St. Louis, if it wasn't her family, because I mean, it was little bitty kids all the way to grandparents. And I was like, that would make sense.
Yeah, it would.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know, I'm just assuming because they were, so many different, but they were having a great time. And I was like, I want to be their friend. I want to go hang out with them.
Right.
But Corbin had the best time, and it was a fun experience that I got to do with him. So
good. Yeah. It was fun to watch the videos and to hear the stories. So
yeah. So
and now you have all these memories about this. If we would have known where to park and like all that, it would have just been there'd be no fun stories to tell.
My hair looked very similar to this, except for it. I had not a poncho, not an umbrella. That was the other thing. Bianca would have looked at the weather.
Yes, I would have.
She would have known it was raining. So now you have all these very memories. Like wavy, wet hair look.
Well, that's good because that look is very in right now.
Dane was like, do you want my jacket? And I so badly wanted to be like, yes, because it would have been perfect to put over my hair.
Yeah.
But then I was like, his t-shirt's going to be soaking wet. I'm like, I can't do that. But yeah, it was a great time. I can honestly say we had the best experience. The people there were great. Everybody was having a great time. And there wasn't like, besides the traffic and people honking. Oh my gosh, everybody honks in St. Louis.
Yeah.
I'm like, why are they honking? And Corbin's like, are they honking at you? I'm like, I don't know. They're honking. I don't know who they're honking at.
They're honking to honk.
But yeah, it was a total vibe. I loved it. I would love to go back and go to a concert there again because the Dome is such a cool place. And then we would like to go to Busch Stadium at some point.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, yeah. So what's your other question?
So it's probably a silly question and it doesn't really apply to you, but the question was like, at our age, is it appropriate or necessary to like, if you're dating somebody to say like, will you be my boyfriend? Like, are we too old to have boyfriends? I don't think so either.
I mean, like, will you like, I don't know how I would feel if at 35, somebody was like, will you be my boyfriend? Will you be my girlfriend? I was like, wait a second. Will you be my girlfriend? But I do think like there should be like I really like you. I would like to
you have
date
to have
you
that conversation.
exclusively.
Yes, you have to have the conversation to
because bro, you'll be dating for 2 years and homie's dating other people.
Yes, and you can't be mad, I guess, if you never had the conversation. But I think because that was kind of part of how the people that called in on the radio kind of said, I interpreted it as, are we too old to call each other boyfriend and girlfriend? Like, what would we call each other? Because that was my question. I'm like, well, if we don't call each other boyfriend and girlfriend, what are we? Like, I'm dating you? Like, you're my
partner?
Significant other?
Yeah, I think boyfriend, girlfriend. Boyfriend, girlfriend.
Boyfriend, girlfriend. You boyfriend.
But yeah, no, I do feel, I mean, if somebody said, would you be my girlfriend? I don't think there's anything inappropriate with that. No. But like a more mature conversation would be like, I would like to date you exclusively.
Yeah. I would like for us to be dating only each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I feel the same way. Like like I said, it's probably
boyfriend and boyfriend.
You boyfriend and boyfriend. If you ever watched Aqua Teen Hunger Force, you know what I'm talking about. And yes, I watched that.
I only know that because of Bianca, because I did not.
I would say that is not something Hannah would ever watch. And if you know the show, you know that she would never watch it. I am kind of a weirdo.
I don't really watch cartoons.
Yeah. Adult cartoons.
Adult cartoons. But man, you get me on like some Paw Patrol. I'll like get into like I remember like when the kids were little, I'd be like cleaning and like get into the plot of what was happening.
Yeah.
I'm like, why do I care what Bluey's doing right now?
Right.
I mean, Bluey wasn't a thing when my kids were little, but I'm trying to think.
No,
like,
I watched
Mickey Mouse, like
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Yeah, like what are they trying to figure out? What tool do they need next? Like, why do I care?
I watch Paw Patrol with Declan a lot. And I'm like, oh, we're gonna rescue this ostrich who like got on the mayor's car because of the chicken's like stuffed animal. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway,
there was what was it? I don't even remember, but it was like little ducks. They had like capes.
Oh, that's cute.
I don't know. They were like, it was for littler kids. Yeah. It came out like when Corbin was little, but I don't remember. They had a really cute song though. And I think there was a turtle involved. I don't know.
I love it. Do y'all know what this was?
Let me know in the comments if you remember. Okay. Well, I did want to talk to you a couple things that have like hot topics. I know it's not hot topics, but can't help myself.
Hot topic. Oh no, that's off topics. Off topics.
So one thing did you see Travis and Taylor at the wedding and the cute like wedding pictures with her kissing like the little boy, and he has no idea, but one day he's going to be like, Taylor Swift kissed me on the cheek.
Yeah.
And she looked adorable.
Precious.
I love her whole vibe. Travis is like a whole vibe. Like his like
he's longer hair. Yeah.
I'm just like, when's the wedding? Come on.
I love watching them like.
Did we see something? Did you see on TikTok where people were saying that their bracelets were blinking at home? You know, in the Eras tour, she gave out bracelets, and like there would be a point in the show where it would like blink and do something. Well, there were like a whole bunch of people on TikTok that were like, it started blinking. I want to say purple, but maybe not. It might not have been purple. But anyway, they were like, this is so cool. Like, she's sending out bat signals to all these people.
I've not heard that.
I mean, I don't know if it's real. I don't know if it's real, but there was a lot of different videos on TikTok.
Yeah. I'd be interested to look into that. Yeah, they're adorable. I love their love.
Oh, Justin Baldoni's lawsuit was dropped.
Yeah. Dismissed, right? Yeah. Like, the charges were dismissed.
The judge was like, hey, you got to come back with different charges or different whatever if you want to do this. Like, you have to like change what you're filing for. So it's not like he's like, it's a no. It's just like you have to adjust your filing.
It's a no for how it's written at this point.
Yeah. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting because we've talked about this in the past, and I am a big, like, I'm not a Justin Baldoni fan. That's not what I'm saying. I am not a Blake Lively fan any longer. So
yeah,
she gave me the ick.
The ick. Nick.
She gave me the ick.
Yeah, he gave me the ick, Nick. When he writes that stuff. But anyway.
She gave me the ick. I don't think that I can come back from that. Just, whether or not they did a smear campaign against her or not, and that's why I saw what I saw, and I was
gonna say, like, ooh. She is
And Ryan Reynolds, they both give me
I know, and that makes me so sad now.
I know.
It makes me so sad. And it's like, I don't know. Like, I just don't feel like I've seen the evidence for Ryan, like, showing that he's the POS that they're talking about. But, like, the interviews that Blake has done, you do see that she is very short.
Don't forget about Deadpool. And
oh, yeah. So the nice pool thing. I get that. I get that. Yeah.
Definitely,
so
I feel like,
yeah, that felt a little pointed.
Which then other people came forward and were like, yeah, he will like go into this character and then like trash you in front of your face if you make him mad.
Yeah,
it's like,
oh, that's crazy.
It's kind of
weird,
psychotic almost.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, like if I don't like you, Hannah's gonna be the one telling you.
Yeah, it ain't gonna be Deadpool, baby. It's gonna be me, pool.
But it really, I mean, honestly, that's been a huge part of his career and his life. So I guess like maybe he just goes into that character really easily.
And maybe he thinks
I feel
funny.
like Ryan Reynolds plays himself in Deadpool. Like the way I feel like that's how he would be in real life.
I can see that. I don't know.
I love the movie The Proposal, and I'm super bummed because now he gives me the ick.
Oh.
That was like one of my favorite movies. To the window, to the wall. You know? Yeah.
Oh,
I like
rest
Sandra
in peace,
Bullock.
Betty White.
Yeah. Well, hello, Sunday Society, or if you aren't a part of Sunday Society, hello to you as well. We are Taking Back Sunday, the podcast, and we are trying to really up our TikTok views and our following there. And we have gotten a lot of results in this Battle of the Karens season 5. And so because of that, we would like to do something kind of fun. And what that is we're going to be giving away a $50 gift card. Which who doesn't want a $50 gift card?
Hello, like, you can spend it at the Targets that we keep talking about in these Karen stories.
Yeah. The way this will work is if you follow us on TikTok, you will get an entry. If you repost this video, you will get an entry, and we can see who reposts. So we do understand that some of you don't know us and we don't know you, some of you. So we can do like send you it through an email kind of thing. So we don't have to like get your address or anything, all safe, but we would love to do this. And it's going to go through the end of July. So you have plenty of time. Follow our TikTok and then repost this video and you'll get 2 entries for a $50 gift card. It'll just be a Visa gift card unless you want something specific, and we can talk about that when we do the drawing.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so we will see you guys back for this at the end of July 31st.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right, so let's dig in and dive in and find these Karens.
Yeah, girl.
Let's put on our Karen binoculars.
My first story for week 6 is Karen and the Great Coupon Meltdown at Joann's.
Oh,
and I think we did have a coupon one.
I think you had a coupon.
Yeah, so this is another coupon one. This story comes to us from somebody off of TikTok. Thank you. Don't have your name, and I should have. That was on my part. Did I put it in here?
Joann's.
I sure did not. But I appreciate you, and I appreciate the story because I listened to it and I was like, yep, this is a contender. All right.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
It was 7:52 p.m. at Joann Fabrics, which if you know that they close at 8 o'clock. So we got 8 minutes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The store was winding down, lights slightly dimmed, aisles half straightened, and employees employees scanning for any last minute stragglers. Unfortunately for everybody, Karen was one of them, and she didn't just stroll in, she stormed in. Of course she did. So she marched to the counter, arms full of 2 bolts of snowflake flannel, a cutting mat, and a pair of shears. Behind her trailed 2 embarrassed teenager daughters. The cashier, a soft-spoken woman, her name was Lily, greeted her. Hi there, just so you know, everything in the store is 50% off tonight. It's part of our closing sale. Because if you know, Joann's are closing all over. Everybody knows. I mean, most people know.
Yeah.
I know that, and I haven't been to a Joann's in probably 15 years. I'm not even kidding you.
I mean, I didn't know
I probably went.
I've never been to a Joann's.
Immediately shoved a crumpled 8.5 by 11 printed coupon towards her. Great. I have a 25% off coupon. Please apply it to everything.
8.5 by 11?
Yeah, so it's like
that thing's a piece of copy paper.
Yeah, she printed up. Here we go. Lily smiled. Oh, I'm sorry, but the coupon says it cannot be used with any other sales or promotions, and everything in the store is already marked down 50%, so you're actually getting a better deal than the coupon you would have.
She didn't like that.
Yeah. Karen narrowed her eyes like Lily had just spoken in an ancient language. What are you saying? That I can't just use a store-wide coupon in the store? That makes no sense. Okay, Karen.
Okay, Karen. Because it does make sense.
Yeah. Lily kept her voice calm. I understand the confusion, but since everything is already 50% off, the system won't let us add a coupon that says it can't be combined. So you're saving more than 25% though. So it's actually the better deal.
Yeah.
Karen folded her arms. But it doesn't say that on the coupon. It doesn't say that I can't use it right now.
I feel like, okay, anyway. Sorry.
Lily flipped the coupon around. It does, right here in small print. It says not valid with any other discounts or sale prices. And since everything's on clearance, you know what? Karen interrupted, looking around dramatically. You people really should make this clear. It should be posted at the door or something. And then I think Lily starts to not be so patient. It is. Pointing to a bright yellow sign literally taped to the front door of the register that read, store-wide clearance coupons cannot be used during closing sale. But Karen wasn't letting it go. This went on for 30 minutes. Lily explaining.
So they're closed at this point.
Lily is explaining every way under the sun how 50% is more than 25%. Karen twisting herself in circles, trying to make the math favor her coupon, and the line behind her growing longer with irritated people who were planning on checking out right before they close.
Yeah.
Finally, me, the woman behind her, holding the single roll of ribbon, said, she can't override the policy. She's just a cashier and you need to let it go. Karen turned, her face lighting up with shock. You know what? You're absolutely right. She is just a cashier. Let me speak to your manager now.
That manager went home.
Lily signed softly, paged the manager. Mark's still there.
Oh, Mark.
So enter Mark, Joanne's store manager, with a clipboard in one hand and the wariness of a man who's been explaining the same thing all week. Oh, poor Mark. Poor Mark.
Marky Mark out here doing the Lord's work at Joanne's.
Karen jumped in immediately. I've been trying to use a valid coupon for half an hour, and your employee is being extremely difficult. I am just trying to save money. I wasn't told I couldn't use my coupon. Mark, without even flinching, because gosh knows he's been doing this conversation probably all week, calmly pointed to the same sign Lily had. Ma'am, we have had it posted at every register. It's printed on the coupon. It's on the website. The store is closing. Everything's on clearance. Coupons can't be applied, and you're already getting 50% off, so it's a better deal anyway. Karen's lip twitched. Well, it should be more clearly stated.
Jeez Louise, how much clearer can they make it, lady?
It's also printed on the door.
Yeah.
Mark added helpfully. Karen paused. There was no more fight to argue with, so she shifted tactics. Suddenly, she softened her tone, becoming syrupy, which I didn't know was a word.
Oh, yeah.
Syrupy. I looked it up because I was like, I don't think this is a real word. It sure is. You know, I'm so sorry you all are closing. This must be really hard. What are you guys going to do next? How will you afford your bills and things? Mark blinked, and I wish we had the blinking sound.
Yeah, the ding, ding. Yeah.
We all have other jobs lined up, but thanks for your concern. Karen nodded solemnly, like she just finished a mission trip. It's just heartbreaking, really. I know corporate greed when I see it. Lily was exhausted, but professional, printed the receipt, handed it over, and quietly said, here's your change. Have a nice night. Karen took a bag, sniffed dramatically, and turned to leave, stopping only to loudly declare, oh, don't worry, I will be calling corporate.
Oh my gosh.
And with that, she disappeared into the parking lot 32 minutes after closing time. And I feel so bad for the girl that just had one.
That would be me. I'd be like, oh my gosh, ribbon. Just one thing of ribbon. Like, can we just move
I would have
this
just set that ribbon down and been like, it ain't worth it.
It ain't worth it. I'd be like, you know what? Good luck, Joanne's. That is miserable behavior.
Yeah, like you're trying to talk your way through getting a better deal.
Yeah.
And you were already getting a better deal than the 25% off.
Yeah.
I think she went in there thinking that she was
going to
get
double it up.
75% off.
Yep, that's exactly what she thought.
And then when she was disappointed when she didn't get that. I mean, in this economy, I get it, but it's not their fault.
You gotta let it go, lady.
Let it go.
Exactly. It is not worth it.
Yeah. What do you got?
All right. I was managing 2 restaurants at an inn in a tiny coastal town, and we were severely short-staffed. That tracks.
Ever since COVID. Every business ever since COVID. Okay, go ahead.
I was covering a breakfast shift by myself, with the inn's owner occasionally helping me by bussing some tables. He had warned me ahead of time about a particularly difficult woman who would be down for breakfast shortly. It was at the end of the shift. I only had a couple tables still eating and one ready to order, but a few tables still had to be bussed. I was taking an order at another table back towards the entrance, so I hadn't seen her come in. When I hear this very angry little woman yell, "Excuse me, but I am ready to order now."
Love your Karen impression.
Thank you. I'll be here all day. I'm going to be on Broadway. Just kidding. I apologize to the table that I'm at and look over at this woman who has seated herself at one of the dirty tables. Of course, there were other clean tables available, but she wanted a 4-top by the window for herself. I told her, "Ma'am, I will be with you shortly as these folks are ahead of you and have been patiently waiting, but also I will need you to move to a clean table." I proceeded to finish taking the order for the other guests. Before heading to the kitchen to send that order, I asked if I could bring the angry lady some coffee or juice on my way back to get her full order. She proceeded to yell at me, demanded I take her order right then, and in parentheses it says, "In many fine dining restaurants, you absolutely do not send more than one order to the kitchen at a time. Double ticketing is a fireable offense in those places." I've never worked in one of those places, but I can imagine that is hectic.
Yeah.
Because it's just like boom, 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 and that's stressful as heck. Okay, so she demanded I take her order right then, let me know she was in a rush and needed her food as fast as I could manage. She then informed me she didn't like my face.
The audacity. And there, I would have lost my job.
There it is. I've been like, well, I don't like you, lady. Obviously,
lady.
Obviously, I wasn't capable of doing my job, and I needed to wipe the smirk off my face. I, of course, was just trying to smile while this woman hurled insults at me. She demanded I tell her what was on the menu, but she didn't want to look at one, and had already said she knew what she wanted. I was told I was rude and unprofessional, and a whole host of other insulting things. So eventually, I put in her order, went to grab the owner and told him he could serve her himself outside. Told the kitchen to make her order to go. I then told her her food would be ready soon and she could go wait for it on the porch, as breakfast was included in her room, but service was not. I did get the big ol' sympathy tip from another table, and they also went out of their way to let the owner know how they had witnessed this woman's atrocious behavior. I did get spoken to by the manager, as he said he told me she was difficult. I told him he said difficult, not abusive. I nor my staff would accept being treated like that.
Yeah.
I love that she made this woman's food to go and said, you can go wait outside. The service is not included. The breakfast is, the service is not. Right?
That is
love
queen behavior.
That is seriously, like, I'm going to use that next time. Like, yeah, your food is included in your order, but your service is not.
Yeah.
I do not have to serve you if you're going to treat me like this.
And the minute you said, "I don't like your face," I would have been like, let me just have, let's step outside.
I'm going to say, you about to like it a lot less then, too. It's about to get a lot worse. I can't imagine if I were working somewhere, like serving them, and like somebody told me, like, "I don't like your face." Excuse me?
I'd be like,
who are you?
Who the are you?
Yes. What in the world?
Excuse me?
How
are we so like
we're in
each other's brains?
We are in tune.
We're both thinking the same thing. It's crazy. We should be. Brindley was trying to do this thing where it was like finish each other's sentences. Mm-hmm. I was thinking, Bianca, I'd be really good at that. I was like, what did I ask her? I said something like, "What sounds good for
dinner?"
And she was like, "Dinner." I was like, "Okay, yeah. That's an easy one. Yeah.
I bet we could be good at that. Yeah. We would be good. We'd be good at taboo too, because we'd be talking in code and things. Good. We are good at taboo.
We beat the boys every time.
Every time, because those boys, they ain't nothing. Anyway, okay. So I had service, Karen. You had Coupon Karen, Joanne's Coupon Karen. And now what you got? What's your last one this week, girl? Hit me with your best
This
shot.
one I really feel bad. So I actually took a story that I had heard on TikTok and I put it into ChatGPT and it brought out this story because there was actual real names of people and like a real town and I just didn't want to do that. So
ChatGPT is helpful.
Yeah. So it's an actual real story, but ChatGPT just made it a little bit better. But anyway, I named this one Karen versus the Cranky Baby.
Oh.
Yeah, girl.
Oh, no. Okay.
It was a rainy Saturday afternoon, that kind of day where the town seems to crowd into local department stores to escape the bad weather and just try to have some fun. A young woman, let's name her Rachel, pushed a cart through the aisles, juggling a small diaper bag, a half-sipped coffee, and her sweet but overtired 10-month-old baby girl in the front seat of the cart. The baby had been mostly content for the first half of that shopping trip, gumming on teething toys and babbling, but now she was growing restless as mom was finished shopping.
A mom's worst nightmare.
Yeah, fist rubbing her face and, slippy, whining, starting to come out a little bit of cries.
Yeah.
Rachel calmly bounced the cart a bit as she moved softly, whispering, "I know, sweetheart. I know, we're almost done." That's when Karen and her teenage daughter, what's Caitlin? Maybe Karen and Caitlin?
Sure.
Turned the corner. Karen immediately wrinkled her nose. I can just imagine it. Her daughter trailed beside her, scrolling through her phone and exaggeratedly sighed. As Rachel gently rocked her cart near the end cap of baby clothes, Karen muttered, not quietly, "Ugh, someone needs to muzzle that thing." Yeah. Her daughter snorted, "Seriously, I'd drop kick it into the next aisle." I'm throwing hands, Bianca. I'm throwing hands if I'm Rachel. Like,
at 10 months, you're still kind of postpartum.
Yeah, girl.
Like,
I would have been in jail.
Are raging.
They would have arrested me.
Oh my goodness.
Rachel, because I would not have thought immediately. I would have it would have been fight or, it would have been
fight.
Yeah.
There ain't no flight. It is all fight.
Rachel froze, her heart pounding. She wasn't the confrontational type, so she was a you.
Yeah.
And she instinctively hugged her baby closer. A few minutes later, they all ended up in the same checkout line.
Oh,
Rachel
my
was in
gosh.
front, baby now whimpering but quieter, head resting on her mom's chest. Rachel looked down at her daughter and said, "Do we need to go outside? Are you ready to go home?" Behind her, Karen snapped, "Yeah, take that thing outside. Some of us don't want to listen to that racket." That's when my wife, so this is coming from the people that were in line too. That's when my wife, standing next to me just a few feet away in the neighboring lane, turned her and said clearly that, "Why are you so rude? That is a baby." Karen blinked, taken aback. "Excuse me? I'm just saying what everyone else is thinking." No, you're not.
Dude, the way my mouth is just like agape right now.
I stepped forward, gently resting my hand on my wife's shoulder, and I looked Karen square in the eye. "You can think what you want," I said, "but you don't talk about a person, especially a child, in such a dehumanizing way. That thing, that's someone's daughter." Karen tried to scoff it off, but it was clear that the air had shifted. The cashier, who had clearly heard everything, glanced at Rachel with a small, encouraging smile and softly said, "You're doing a great job, Mom." Rachel whispered thank you, eyes slightly glossy but full of gratitude. She paid for her items, gently kissed her baby's head, and wheeled the cart towards the door with her head held high. Karen and her daughter said nothing more. Sometimes the smallest people in the store show us the biggest truths, and the loudest ones show us who we don't want to be.
I am appalled.
Girl, I would have went to jail. Like, there would have been no thought. I would, as soon as they said muzzle and then drop kick.
That part.
Drop kick or that thing.
Yeah.
We're
done.
Excuse me, can you hold my baby for a second?
Yeah.
And I'm going to town.
You gonna meet thunder and lightning.
Yeah, I'm about to mop the floor with you.
Yeah.
Yourself.
Yeah. Exactly.
I cannot imagine. I remember when I was pregnant with Brinley and I took Adeline and Corbin to Kaleidoscope with Time. And this lady was so rude and butting into the kids. I remember
that. Yeah.
She stepped on my foot and was pushing the kids out of the way. And I made Time so uncomfortable because I was like, "Excuse me."
Because she's not confrontational either.
No, I literally said to my kids, I was like, "See this adult right here?" Loudly.
I know.
See this adult right here? This is how we don't behave. We have manners and we say excuse me if we need. I mean, she was like,
Well,
so
act right,
offended.
lady. I forgot
like,
about
they're
that.
children. You can't push these little kids around.
At
And
Kaleidoscope.
they're at Kaleidoscope. This is not for you.
Right.
Heifer.
I was going to say, this is not for you, lady. This is for kids.
But I was very pregnant. Like a week from having Brindley. I was not having it. I was like, I will rip your face off. You know what I mean?
Get out of my life, lady.
Yeah. So anyway. But yeah, I just like imagine like a TJ Maxx or like a
Me
Marshalls.
too. I was literally thinking of Kohl's.
Yeah.
Like that was the image in my head, was that she was at Kohl's for some reason. Well, that one.
I'm just dumbfounded.
That is a contender. Yeah. That one might be it for me. Like, I mean, I'll read this one, I guess.
Yeah, and it's like two Karens. You got an adult Karen and a kid Karen.
And, you know,
a teenage Karen.
And that exactly, that shows that this type of behavior is learned.
Yes.
It's not something that you have in you. It's not innate. It's something that you learn by observing. And it's just generational. Okay. My last story is another airline story.
Okay, well, we got some big stuff on the Ken one, so
yeah,
we actually got a Karen that responded about it. So I was
we sure did. A Karen or a Ken, I don't know.
It was a Kevin.
A Kevin. Okay.
And when you ask nicely, guess what Hannah does? Hannah posts the second part too, because that did happen.
Yep. All you have to do is ask nicely. Anyway, and we don't know how it ends.
We're called clowns.
What?
Yeah, he said we were clowns, like clown creators.
Yeah. And
I was like, okay. Anyway. I just want to throw a little shade.
What do clowns say? Honk, honk. Like, boo-boo to you, baby. Anyway, first time posting here. It didn't happen to me, but I got to watch the show.
Oh.
English is my second language, so sorry for any mistakes. And I read through it, and I didn't see any mistakes. So I went to visit my home country for Christmas, and on the return flight, I had to make a connection in Panama at about 4 a.m. Our last story was super early in the morning, too. Everything was going well and fine until I reached the gate. Now, the flight had been delayed due to bad weather and was picking up passengers from about 3 different flights before continuing flying south.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The gate attendant explained this over the intercom and reminded us that due to the flight being at full capacity, we were only allowed 1 carry-on with us aboard. This is the same. Oh my gosh. Okay. So it's this anyway.
Same situation. It's a carry-on.
Yes, it's the same thing.
Which you're only supposed to have 1 carry-on. You're only supposed to have 1 bag in the upper part, and then you have like whatever can fit under your, or like your purse or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, this is when Karen, who was only missing the haircut,
oh, dang,
and had 2 carry-ons, started to grumble. About 15 minutes pass, and Karen marches to the boarding desk, demanding to know why the plane wasn't there yet. The attendant explained to her again why it was delayed and told her the plane would be in about 40 minutes. Karen kept
plenty of time for you to check that second bag,
yeah,
baby.
Girl. Karen kept on complaining. Most of us were trying not to pay her much attention since most of us were sleep deprived and tired. Yeah, it's 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Eventually, the plane arrives, starts disembarking its passengers, and the attendant starts calling for us to make a line once our boarding group was called so we could board. While everyone was standing, Karen went up to the front of the line. Nobody paid attention, believing she was with the first group. Do you think she was in the first group?
No, I don't.
When the attendant asks for her ticket, Karen hands it over, and the attendant points out she's in group 4 and must wait for her group to be called. This did not sit well with Karen, who demanded to be let on first as compensation for making her wait and wasting her time. They argued for a bit, but because the flight was already late, the attendant just gave up and started to scan her ticket.
They be pulling people off of planes for little bitty things, and they're letting this lady get away with that. I wouldn't even let her get on the plane.
I would have been like, you can catch another flight, lady, straight to HE double hockey sticks. Then that's when she noticed that Karen had 2 carry-on bags. The attendant told her again that due to the packed flight, she would only be allowed 1 suitcase and the other would have to be registered and sent with the cargo, and gestured to the other attendant to start processing her bag. That's when Karen lost it and started complaining how this was ridiculous and demanded she better be let on with her 2 bags. The attendant, starting to get fed up with this, told her to calm down and that it could not be helped. Karen kept complaining, and we started to get annoyed because it was now about 5 a.m. and we just wanted to get on the flight. Seeing that this was going nowhere, the other attendant called the next person in line and started boarding while the OG attendant and Karen fought. At some point, an elderly woman boards with a man who is probably her son or something, and the guy is carrying what was obviously his and the woman's carry-on, and Karen renewed her tantrum over why he was allowed 2 bags while she was only allowed 1.
Oh my goodness.
Well, at about that point, it was my turn to get on the plane, and I got on board. I don't know what happened to Karen after that, but I'm pretty sure she was not allowed to get on the flight since I was in one of the rows near the front, and I did not see her pass at any point.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
They be dragging people off for their kids' masks falling down during COVID.
Shoot,
don't let these
crazy.
Karens out.
Exactly. And it's like,
I'm not saying all those people were right. Some of them probably did deserve to be taken off the flight, but then there's others that are.
Yeah, it's just like this situation. I feel like people forget that you are not owed anything.
Yeah.
You are not owed anything. Yeah. They absolutely had the right to tell her, you know what? If you don't want to follow our policy, you can find another airline that has a different policy.
Well, and not only that, but they were behind because of the weather. You know how many people get stuck at airports for hours or days?
Yeah.
Lady, get over yourself.
Get over yourself. Check your bag. Just check your stupid bag, you hateful heifer.
And like, okay, you have 2 bags. I would be like, okay, I thought I could take both of these on, which I don't know in what world that is allowed. Ever.
I know, I'm confused.
But like, move all the really important stuff to the one bag.
And they announced it. Like, she had an hour, plenty of time to do it.
She just thought she was above it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's exactly the definition of a Karen, is they think they're above it and that the world owes them everything. Yes. And you know what? Fun fact, the world owes you nothing.
Yeah.
Period, blank, point, whatever.
Mic drop.
And on that, that's week 6, baby.
Yeah. We have what, like 6 more weeks?
I think so. August 31st, like the last Sunday in August, is our last episode.
August 31st will be it. Make sure you're voting. Make sure that you're following, subscribing, liking, rating, whatever, all the things.
Send us your real life Karen stories.
Yes, we want to know. We want to share them. So
email us tbspod23@gmail.com.
Send us a message on Facebook if you have our number. Text,
you know how to get a hold of us most of the time. Most of our listeners live or know us, like live here or know who we are. We would love to have actual listener submissions. It's kind of the dream.
Yeah.
The first goal was to get 100 followers on Spotify. Got it.
Yeah.
Second goal is to get 200 on Spotify. Got it. Next goal is to get more listener interaction. So please interact with us. We adore you. You are the reason that we keep coming back. And we will see you next week with 4 more Karen stories. I'm Bianca.
I'm Hannah.
And we are Taking Back Sunday. Welcome back, Sunday Society, to week 5.
Week 6.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, and then we can dive into the questions that you have.
Okay.
I have 2.
Go ahead.
I've got 2 for this one. Because I didn't know how many you were going to use in yours, so I didn't want to do
I just have that one question, and then I just have a couple like news kind of things.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Did you hear that like a motorcycle?
Yeah. Whatever.
I need a drink.
I am just snotty.
You sound like your nose is kind of... Oh, by the way, I'm pretty sure that when they did the CT scans on my face, that they found out I have a partial deviated septum.
I mean, you snore, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That tracks.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure
and
my
I had
septum's
mucus,
gone.
like extra mucus, and I was like, "Yep, that sounds about right." Okay.
I read that in your report too. I was like, "Oh, she's full of snot."
Yeah. Do you want me to start?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So my first week 1, or no, sorry, Karen paused. There was no more fart talk.
No more farts. She had run out of hot air.